Welcome to another episode of Echoes of Faith, where we explore stories of faith, redemption, and divine intervention. In today's episode, When Angels Weep, we follow Dr. Samuel Whitaker, a physician known for his unwavering belief in the power of prayer. But when a young patient passes away despite his deepest prayers, his faith is shaken to the core. As doubt and grief consume him, he begins to wonder, has God stopped listening? Has he failed? But even in the darkest moments, unseen hands are at work. A divine messenger arrives with a truth that will change everything. Sometimes the miracle isn't in the healing, it's in the grace to endure. Stay with us as we journey through this powerful story of faith, loss, and divine presence in the unseen. Dr. Samuel Whitaker had seen many miracles in his years as a physician. Some of his patients called him the doctor with healing hands, but he always brushed it off. "It's not my hands," he would say with a warm smile. "It's faith." Nestled in the small town of Fairhaven, his clinic had become a refuge for those seeking more than just medical treatment. Many believed that prayers spoken within its walls carried weight. But faith is tested in the most unexpected ways. It started with Aiden Harper, a 9-year-old boy with tousled brown hair and bright eyes that had dimmed with sickness. He had leukemia, a cruel disease that had returned after months of remission. His mother, Grace, was a woman of unshakable faith. She had seen how Dr. Whitaker's prayers had brought peace, and in some cases, even healing to others. "You believe God can heal him, don't you?" Grace asked one evening, her voice breaking. Dr. Whitaker looked at Aiden, frail yet smiling, his small hand resting in his. He had prayed over him countless times, believing with all his heart that God could intervene. But doubt, that unwelcome guest, lingered at the edges of his mind. He had seen healing, yes, but he had also seen loss. What if this time the answer was different? "I believe God's will is perfect," he finally said, "and we will trust in him." For weeks, Dr. Whitaker prayed over Aiden. The town gathered in circles, lifting his name up in supplication. There were moments of hope, days where his strength returned, where he laughed like the illness had never come back. But then, the fever rose and the shadows deepened. One cold Sunday morning, the town awoke to the sorrowful sound of church bells. Aiden Harper had passed away in the night, and suddenly, the faith that had been Dr. Whitaker's foundation felt like sand slipping through his fingers. The town mourned, but grief soon turned to whispers. How could this have happened? Hadn't Dr. Whitaker prayed over him? Hadn't they all believed? Then came the accusations. "He gave people false hope," a man muttered in the town square. "People called him a healer," said another. But where was the healing this time? Even Grace, drowning in sorrow, wrestled with her faith. Did we pray wrong? Did we not believe enough? Dr. Whitaker withdrew, retreating into the shadows of his once beloved clinic. He canceled appointments, ignored phone calls, and sat alone in the quiet. He had never claimed to have the power to heal, only to trust in the one who did. But now, doubt whispered, what if they had all been wrong? One evening, as rain pattered against the clinic windows, an unexpected visitor arrived. An old man, bent with age but eyes sharp with wisdom, stepped inside. He had been a stranger to the town, a traveler passing through. "Are you the doctor?" the man asked. Dr. Whitaker hesitated before nodding. "Not much of one lately." The man sat across from him, folding his hands. "I heard what happened, and I heard what people are saying." Dr. Whitaker let out a bitter chuckle. "Then you know they think I failed." "Do you think you failed?" Silence stretched between them. Finally, Dr. Whitaker spoke. "I don't know anymore. I believed. We all did. But Aiden still..." He exhaled sharply. "Maybe I should stop praying. Stop believing I can make a difference." The old man leaned forward. "Tell me, doctor, when Jesus stood outside the tomb of Lazarus, What did he do? Dr. Whitaker furrowed his brows. He called him out, raised him from the dead. The old man nodded. Yes, but before that. Dr. Whitaker hesitated, then the words came to him. He wept. Exactly. The old man's eyes glistened. He knew he was about to perform a miracle, but still, he wept. He felt the sorrow of those around him. He shared in their grief. And yet, that moment of weeping didn't mean he was any less the Son of God. It didn't mean the miracle wasn't coming. Dr. Whitaker swallowed hard. The old man continued. Faith isn't about controlling outcomes. It's about trusting even when we don't understand. Sometimes the miracle is in the healing, and sometimes it's in the grace to endure. But don't mistake silence for absence. Don't mistake unanswered prayers for unheard ones. Tears burned Dr. Whitaker's eyes. But I don't know how to move forward. The old man smiled gently. Then start by weeping with those who weep. Hold their hands. Pray with them even when it's hard. And when the time comes, remind them, remind yourself, that God is still in the business of miracles, even when angels weep. The next morning, Dr. Whitaker reopened his clinic. The road to healing, for himself and for the town, would take time. But as he stepped into the waiting room and saw a mother holding her sick child, hope flickered in his heart once more. He would pray. He would trust. And whether the miracle came as healing or in the strength to endure, he would walk in faith. Because even when angels weep, God is still near. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Echoes of Faith. Dr. Whitaker's journey reminds us all that faith isn't about always seeing the answer. It's about trusting even in silence. In moments of doubt, when prayers seem unanswered, we are never truly alone. God's presence is near, working in ways beyond our understanding. If When Angels Weep touched your heart, be sure to like, share, and follow for more inspiring stories of faith and grace. And remember, even when angels weep, God is still near. Until next time, keep walking in faith.
Thank you for joining us on this journey. Remember, no matter what fires we face, faith will always carry us through. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to leave a comment. Subscribe for more stories that inspire and uplift. This is Echoes of Faith, where every story brings hope. If today's story moved you, be sure to discover more heartfelt journeys in the Echoes of Faith series and uplift your spirit. Don't miss out on the next chapter. There's always more to uncover.